all sorts of spices going on in there. Definitely more alien to our nose. And I'm enamored with this. Padmini also has another dupe that's a little bit simpler, a little bit sweeter.
What is it called again?
This is Padmini Superfine.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
How much is this, Seth?
These are like $1 boxes. There are 8 little logs in there. I also, because they gave me a really good break, I can do like 10 of these, 10 or 12. I think it's 12. I forget how many come in a bundle. Well, whatever. I think it's 12. So I can do a bundle of 12 for $10. You know, just because they gave me a break, so the least I can do is extend the same break. So, like, I put it on the little list here, Padmini Superfine. And the first one we showed you was Mysore Sugandhi Chandan Dupe.
Excuse me,
Certainly.
what's the best thing to burn today?
Not too
What I usually do, I save my ashes.
Okay.
I say it sounds terrible. I save my ashes.
I've
and then,
saved your ashes.
and I'll just simply lie it, and I'll just simply lie it down on the ashes, you know, and then it will continue to burn.
I've been standing it up in a bowl of
sand. Yeah. And eventually the ashes will kind of develop, and then you can just lie it on. You can use sand or kitty litter or whatever. You know, if you don't have any of that, I just save ashes. I do ceramics, so I always have clay dust, you know, that I can use.
There's always kitty litter.
This kitty litter, that's basically clay. That's clay. You know, bentonite clay. It's like, now some of these dupe aren't solid form. Some of them are semi-solid, and they're it's like finger hash. And they're kind of like these doughy, gooey, crumbly things that you want to talk alien smelling. I mean, really, really foreign smelling. This is it. There's one. I wrote it down called Mira Dupe. I don't have any of that. I don't know if I wish I did or not. There are certain fragrances that are loved in India that here in America we just shudder. One, Mira Dupe, like some Indian incenses, has sort of the smell of burning tires. You know, it has a burning rubber smell. This has some of that. I don't know what the material is. I know if you just burn myrrh on its own, it has a little bit of that kind of burning rubber smell. I don't understand, you know, why. You can see that it's sooty. It'll leave those little black streamers. I mean, this is definitely not, you know, for the unadventurous. There are a few people that really, really love this stuff. I'm not sure if I like it or not. As dupe, you know, as semi-solid tar type dupes go, this is still probably the best. I'm mystified by it. I'll definitely pass it around and give everybody a chance to see what they think of this.
I think with the multicultural community we live in and how many Indian people we've been obliged to carry this because they are definitely used to this fragrance and seek it.
It sort of burns like plastic.
That's a bad
You know,
sign.
little bits go.
Oh, good.
It's one of the, this is genuinely bizarre. Dupes often are. I have one other dupe, which I don't think I'll be able to find again. It's called Computer Sambrani. Computer Sambrani. And it's made from charcoal, some kind of a binder, a little bit of potassium nitrate, and a whole bunch of this benzoin resin that I showed you. So it will fill the house with the smell almost of like benzoin and something else in there like burning golf balls.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a driving range went up and brought, you know, all of its kind of, but it has an odd charm about it that I cannot quite explain. Then there are other incenses that, although they don't really call them dupe because they're not from India, but kind of have similar characteristics. They don't have a bamboo core. So, we're going to look at Tibetan incenses. Tibetan incenses. If these were made in India, which some of them are, or they're made from Indian, they would call it dupe. Generally, these are used for worship. They use a very specific the core of this fragrance, these fragrances, the Tibetan incenses, cedar. A particular cedar grows in the Himalayas called the Deodar cedar. The monastic incenses made by Buddhist monks, they're pretty strict about how they obtain their cedar. They don't go chopping down Deodar cedar trees. They have to wait for the tree to die or wait for branches to fall off. And they can't cheat, like go and shake the tree, you know, or like, you know, bump up against, oh my, you know, it's like branches are falling off. You know, they literally have to wait. Just like sandalwood that's made by Buddhist monks in India, they have to wait for the sandalwood tree to die. Or prayer beads that are made from bone. They can't slaughter the animal. They have to wait for the animal to die, and then they can use its parts. In fact, not only will they use its parts, but they're obliged to. It would be a disservice and ingratitude. Tonight, just like the monks themselves, when they die, their parts, their bones, are used. If you've ever seen some of these monasteries in Tibet, by our standards, they would look like visions of hell. But because they're decorated with human bones, with the remains of people. So there'd be doorways arched in skulls and chandeliers made out of human femurs and ceremonial cups made from skulls, from the tops of your skulls. I mean, and prayer beads made from your finger bones. So we would look at that as being pretty gruesome, and it looks hellish. It really does. But it's, if you look at their images of death, they're happy, they're smiling. Their way of giving back to the monastery is themselves, because it's all they have. And they wish to continue to serve even after they've died. This is their way of giving back. So to not use their bodies would be an injustice to them. So Tibetan incenses, the core of their fragrance is cedar, Deodar cedar. Most of these are made in Nepal, even though they're called Tibetan incenses. They're made by Tibetan refugees. Some of them are made in India also, because there really is no Tibet as such. In fact, a lot of those prayer necklaces made from human finger bones, there was kind of a market for those for a while. But of course, it's illegal to trade in human remains. So Tibetan incenses, in the category of Dhoop, they're about as similar as they are different. Once you've tried one, you get a general idea. They're fairly similar. But when you try another one, you know it's a cousin. You can see, you can hear, smell certain similarities in them, but they're just as different as they are the same. This is one I ended up with by accident. I'm really amazed. This one here, I never would have ordered it because, you know, it wasn't what I was trying to order. The one I just showed you, by the way, I'm sorry, I didn't even give you the name, I'm sorry. It's Himalayan. It comes in these bundles. And the people I ordered this from are amazing. They're a real trip. They're from the Boston area, and they're very unprofessional. And when I call them, they answer the phone, what? You know, like,